I was actually born and raised in Canberra, so I joined the ACT policing, I thought, joining the AFP back in 1986, and went to recruit training. And at that point in time, there weren't any positions available for people to stay in Canberra. There was a lot of reshaping of the organisation, and the Australian Protective Services was being formed. So I was transferred up to Sydney and worked up in Sydney for 11 years. Then I came back to Canberra and worked at the AFP College for about 6 years. Then I went into ACT policing. So I did it a little bit differently to how most people do have their careers in the organisation. It was such a great experience. I loved being at the college. It was really, giving back to people, seeing them learn and grow, and knowing that you knew your stuff as well, which was a nice part of it. Most people think they know what policing's all about when they watch TV, and it's just not like that at all necessarily. We have a lot of fun as well, but it's also around the communication, the paperwork and things we have to do there. So you could see them grow, but you also saw the trepidation as they'd been in the college for 20 odd weeks. And then as they're about to go out onto the street, it was quite an interesting challenge for them. I came in and I was in the intelligence area, so it used to be called Operations Monitoring and Intelligence Service, and had a great 2.5 years on there. Really got a good understanding of the whole of ACT policing and how everything worked together before I went across as Superintendent Territory Investigations Group, as it was then. The most significant case was when I was in Territory Investigations Group. In fact, it was several at once. We had about 4 murders in the ACT at one, over a few month period, which was pretty unheard of. So certainly that period of time, just the huge work tempo, the amount of work the teams were having to do, lots of media, had to do a lot of media interviews at that point, and so that was a big learning curve for me as well. Working in ACT policing's given me fantastic skills and knowledge as I've sort of moved into other parts of the AFP as well. You have large numbers of teams, so in Territory Investigation Group, obviously we had more than 120 investigators working in a range of serious crime types. So you work with a broad number of people who are really dedicated and keen. I remember joining in the old uniform and being issued a handbag. Used to be issued stockings and all those sorts of things. I actually missed the handbag. And when I joined though back in 1986, there was a lot of women joining at that time. I say a lot, there was still probably only about 6 or 8 per program of about 25 people. But each course had that sort of number of women, and there was a big drive to bring more women into the organisation. This year, 3,000 applicants to join the AFP in our swarm policing ranks, and out of that we had 22% women applying. So we've really got to work on our marketing strategies. The AFP just offers so many diverse opportunities. It's a fantastic organisation, and we've got to somehow get that marketing message out there for people from all walks of life. Back then, you're right in the heart of it, involved in investigating things, taking statements, going to court, all those sorts of aspects. That hasn't changed significantly, but what has changed obviously is the use of computers. I remember when we had the first PC in the office, and everyone was almost fighting over it to get to it. Moving from having typewriters, which was a luxury back in '86, to everybody having computers on their desk now. Social media. That's been a big change for us, and policing's a very conservative sort of profession, so we've got to make sure we stay up with the times and use social media, whatever aspects we can engage with the community and get them more involved in helping us. Just makes us do our job so much more in a much better way. And I think that's what's changed too, keeping up with the technological change, the cybercrime type aspects, so making sure that we bring people into the organisation who are just really used to using computers, social media, all those sorts of things. So those sorts of crime type changes. I think a continuing issue always in policing in Australia in particular is our jurisdictional boundaries. That's a really critical and difficult issue sometimes to deal with. So continuing to work with other state and territory agencies, with Commonwealth sort of agencies, Attorney General departments, to bring forward ideas of how we can make improvements where we see there's issues with the law. Being able to be an influence in that space is an important part of it for us. Continuing to be innovative as well, so always looking for new ways of policing Canberra.